Hello, everyone. On today's IRS tax refund update, we have the release dates for the next two rounds of direct deposit tax refunds and the next batch of paper checks to be mailed out, so we'll recap those. Meanwhile, for those of you still waiting on your refunds, we'll recap the change to the interest you will be receiving effective January 1st, as well as a key reminder for those of you who have already received those refunds with interest. We'll then take a look at two key reasons why your tax refunds next year may be smaller than they were this year. Now, taking a look at the next round of tax refunds scheduled to go out, starting with those direct deposit refunds. The next batch is scheduled for release on December 21st, as confirmed by the tax transcript seen here, followed by another direct deposit batch on December 26th, as confirmed by the refund status tracker seen here. Meanwhile, the next round of paper checks will be released on Friday, December 23rd, which after this week will leave only one more paper batch to be released for the year. For those of you checking your tax transcripts and are part of one of these batches, your tax transcripts will list two separate dates, one for your refund and a later date for the interest payment that the IRS owes you. Now, do note you will get both the refund and interest payment at the same time as one payment. The separate dates on the transcript is simply how the IRS computer system categorizes those payments. As a reminder, if you've received your refund with interest or will do so by December 31st, that in January, the IRS will be sending out to you this form, the 1099 INT, usually if you received at least $10 in interest, and that is because the interest you received is actually taxable income and should be reported on your tax returns for tax year 2022. On the topic of interest from the IRS, if you're one of those who are still waiting on their refunds, after January 1st, that is when the increase of those interest payments from the IRS will actually go from 6% to 7%. Now, the IRS starts paying out interest to taxpayers, and that begins to be calculated for those who have not received their refunds after 45 days since the tax filing deadline, which was back on April 18th. As of this recording, the IRS is late in posting their most recent weekly update on the tax return backlog. However, based off the latest numbers, that backlog is at 3.1 million unprocessed tax returns. We expect once the update is in fact released this week, that number will drop below 3 million. And based on previous trends, we expect most of those processed in the last week being paper returns. E-file returns and ones requiring special processing have been processed at a much slower rate. At this point, we're around 5 weeks away from the start of the 2023 tax season, and with the IRS already warning taxpayers of potentially longer processing delays, another topic being discussed is how there will be those taxpayers seeing smaller refunds next year compared to this year. And there are two key reasons, starting off with the child tax credit and earned income tax credits. For those taxpayers claiming the child tax credit who receive $3,600 per dependent for tax year 2021, if eligible, that credit will now go back down to $2,000 per dependent for tax year 2022. For those of you claiming EITC who receive $1,500 on those 2021 taxes, that number will go to $500. Meanwhile, child independent care credits return to a maximum of $2,100 compared to $8,000 for tax year 2021. Another reason for smaller refunds next year is in regards to those 1099-K forms. Due to the changes in the tax law because of the American Rescue Plan, if you sell items online on sites such as eBay, Etsy, and Facebook, and you earn over $600, those sites will issue you a 1099-K as seen here, and you must now report it as taxable income on your taxes. Previously, you would have not been issued one unless you earned $20,000 or more and had at least 200 transactions. I do see this as one of the potential problems next year, and for you early tax filers who did sell items online and earned over $600, please wait to file your taxes until you receive that 1099-K form, as if you fail to report it, you will have to go back and amend your taxes at a later date. Also, if you receive payments for goods and services through PayPal and Venmo, this does apply to you as well. Unfortunately, there are those still out there who sold over $600 who are not aware of this recent tax change and who will end up filing early and can potentially see processing and refund delays as a result. This is going to be the first year all these companies are issuing these forms on a large scale, so they're bound to run into issues as a result. Let us know in the comment section below about your ongoing tax issue. In the meantime, we will keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.